Hi Capricorn, this is Mimi with Divination by Mimi. Welcome to your August 2017 Tarot Oracle with a little bit of astrology reading. There is a lot going on astrologically, so I'll cover that first and then we'll get into your card reading, your tarot card reading. Firstly, there are two eclipses of note. The first one is a partial lunar eclipse. That is going to occur at the time of the full moon on the 7th of August in the sign of Aquarius. There is also going to be a full solar eclipse, and this is a big one, on August 21st, 2017. And we'll get into that a little bit too in a moment. I'll explain why it's a big one. Mercury's going to go retrograde on the, is it 12th? Hold on. I believe it's the 12th. Yeah, on the 12th of August, Mercury goes retrograde and will stay retrograde until September the 5th. And let's get back to the solar eclipse. So it's a big one. It happens in Leo at 28 degrees and 53 seconds of Leo. This occurs at 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's August 21st. The moon will become a new status. It'll have moved into the new phase by 2:30. So the eclipse happens 5 minutes prior to the new moon phase. So it's a little bit prior. And again, all of this is happening at 28 degrees, the very, very tail end of Leo. And here's why that's important. Leo's a fast, fiery, positive, energetic constellation. It's got Mars in it at the moment. And of course it has the sun in it, two very hot, energetic planets. Another thing that's in Leo is a very big importance to humanity, to the collective soul. Our collective soul's northern node. So everyone has a natal chart, and in their natal chart there's a south node and a north node. The south node is the things that we've mastered coming into this incarnation. The north node are things that we need to master to complete our evolution in this incarnation. So collectively, right now, our north node is in Leo. This means we need to learn and assimilate those high octave or positive attributes of Leo. And those include things like joy, love, positivity, creativity, self-expression, autonomy, and confidence. Not arrogance, confidence. Now, at the same time that this is occurring, there is also a trine happening. So I'll talk about the lunar trine first. The moon is making a trine. Remember, the moon's in Leo at this time too, right? The moon is making a trine with Saturn. Saturn is a restrictive energy. So when I think of Saturn, I think of things like government, the IRS, the police, the army, the law, just the law, the status quo, the way things are. And the moon is about emotions, intuition, and the unknown, the subconscious, spirituality as well. A trine is a very positive aspect. So when the moon, again with those attributes being about emotion, spirituality, intuition, is making a positive aspect with Saturn, what is normally a very restrictive, play by the rules type of planet, it's almost as if the moon is buttering up or holding the hand of Saturn or giving Saturn a hug, softening Saturn for the other attributes that are occurring at this time, aspects that are occurring at this time. And one of the big ones is the sun is also making a trine, again a positive energy, a positive aspect, with Uranus. So the sun is a positive energy. It, for at least a part of the day, it energizes the planet. It helps things grow. It is the ruler of Leo, where our north node is, remember? And it's making a trine, a positive aspect with Uranus. Uranus is across the constellation in Aries, across the natal chart in Aries, which is a very fast-moving, fiery energy, right? Uranus is an unpredictable energy. So when you make this trine with the sun, a positive energy, and Uranus in a highly energetic constellation, and Uranus being about unexpected changes. Like really, like what did that really just happen? Kind of unexpected changes. That is going to make, I believe, good things happen on a macrocosmic level. Big changes. I believe that's going to, and I'm not the only one that feels this way. Other astrologers are, they're pointing at different reasons or different outcomes, but this is a big eclipse. And it's going to be big, particularly for the macrocosm in the United Kingdom and in the United States. So what you can expect, I believe, are good, big, positive, unexpected changes. Now, with all unexpected changes, they can make you feel uncomfortable because they're unexpected. But when we get past that shock and that, whoa, this is weird, this is different, I'm having to change things, once we get beyond that, it's actually, I believe, going to be very good for us. It's important that we, keep a positive attitude, that we take on those positive attributes of Leo that I just mentioned, and keep an open heart and an open mind, because Leo is a very positive, radiant energy, king and queen of the jungle, right? Sovereign, autonomous, and that is what we need to learn as a people. So, not to belabor this too much, but it is a big one. Keep an eye out for it, and let's see how it's going to affect you, Cappies. I'm a Cappy too, so this should be interesting. I'm going to get into your reading now. I hope the astrology made sense. If not, again, like if the reading doesn't make sense, leave a question or comment in the section below. Let's get into it. I'm going to do a supernal triangle pull. This is 3 cards, and the placements are based upon the top 3 sephira or placements on the Tree of Life. So, for example, if you follow the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, this would be Keter, Chokmah, and Binah. If you follow the Kemetic Tree of Life, this would be Amunasur, Tahuti, and Sekert. For the purposes of psychology, just for everyday life, we're going to call this the superconscious, the conscious, and the subconscious mind. Okay, so what God Source is trying to tell you, what's on your mind currently, and what dreams what kind of information you might look for in your dreams, and other types of symbols and strange happenstance that occur in your day-to-day life that you can watch out for. Okay, so what's going on for Capricorn in August 2017? I forgot to mention your sign. Your ruling planet Saturn is in the constellation of Sagittarius and is still retrograde and will be retrograde for a while. So this is revisit. Again, this is another thing that makes it very interesting in the world stage as well as personally for us Capricorns, is that it's about, a retrograde Saturn is about revisiting institutions, status quo, how we've always done things. Is it right to still do things this way? Does it still make sense? Have we evolved beyond this need for this type of thing? I'll throw an example out there. These really hard-nosed laws on petty offenses like possession of marijuana. With Saturn in retrograde, it's revisiting whether or not things like that are really reasonable and really rational anymore. Do they serve us any longer? All right, so let's get into you, Cappy. What does God want you to know? What is super conscious, your high self, the great all? Ah, okay, you got 2. Somebody else got 2. You got the Fool in reverse, and you got the 5 of Cups upright. This is God Source speaking to you with this first position. All right, let's see what your conscious mind has got going on. What's on your mind? Let's see if we can put this all together. Whoa. You're worried about things. As usual, Capricorns are always worrying. But it's keeping you up. Something's really bothering you. Maybe it's these changes. I mean, we are ruled by Saturn, and the world is moving at a very fast pace right now. Changes are happening very, very quickly. maybe that's worrying to us because we are ruled by Saturn. Oh, there we go. Judgment in reverse. All right. So superconscious is telling us that we are foolishly thinking negatively. It's kind of a roundabout way of me putting this, but we've got the 5 of Cups upright, which means, and if you can see it, this is a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So the 5 is an unbalanced number. And the person is sort of mourning 3 cups that are spilt, but doesn't see the 2 cups behind him or her. You also receive the Fool in reverse. The Fool in the upright is kind of like the brand new soul entering incarnation. That's kind of on a very high level of symbolism, but this is relating to you folks that are old enough to read this and hear this now. So you obviously aren't entering into a new incarnation, but we are not we're thinking negatively, and we tend to do this because we tend to worry. So we're going on what's happened in the past, and we're assuming that what's happened in the past is what's going to happen in the future. And again, we know what's tried and true. We're ruled by Saturn. We like what's tried and true. You know, it's there, it's proof, it's history. I can go back to it and refer to it. But it's not always true. It's just the past. So we're really not endeavoring. We're stuck. We're stuck because we're still back here realizing there was a loss and not letting go of the loss to see the potential that's there. There is potential there. And also, if you can see, there's a lovely home out in the distance and a bridge. Bridges indicate movement from one situation to another. But the person has to look away from the loss, okay? And until that person looks away from the loss, they're not going to be able to move on to their new endeavor. And they're going to do it with a blind eye. They're not, in other words, the Fool in reverse is someone who's entering an endeavor thinking they have all the answers. A slight arrogance. And I know we don't like to fancy ourselves as being arrogant, but it is an arrogance in the sense that we really don't know it all. And we like thinking that we know it all because that's, you know, that's dependable, that's stable. I'm not having a go at Capricorns. I'm one. I just know myself. And I know most Capricorns. We worry. And we like things how they are. So when things aren't, you know, when we're going on something, in other words, Spirit is telling us that this focusing on the past and the loss, the perceived loss, is keeping us from moving forward. And this Fool here in reverse is basically the God source saying to us, okay, Cappy, you think you know what happened in the past, okay? And that's always going to happen. But this is not indicative of everything that's going to happen. So stop being so sure of what you think you know and what you think reality is. Swords are thoughts, and this is someone staying up at night with worry. So this is being imprisoned, not imprisoned, well, yeah, burdened by thoughts. And thoughts, I think we all can agree, thoughts are vibrations and energy. Everything starts with a thought. This universe is mental. That's the first law, Hermetic law, or principle. The first Hermetic principle is all is mind. All is mind, meaning all is mental, meaning thoughts are powerful. And we think we know it all, but we don't know it all. We're sitting here worried, and it's keeping us from actually seeing clearly to make our next move. So we need to turn this around. Spirit is warning us to turn this around so that we can view life and the situation that we're dealing with here, whatever this loss is, and our next steps in the process, with an open heart and an open mind. Because here's where we are right now, and that's doing nothing but causing us lack of sleep, depression, and it's not accomplishing anything. And Judgment's over here in reverse in the subconscious mind. So this is keeping us from moving on to the next level. Judgment is about moving on to something, graduating to something. And this is really telling me is that our biggest, collectively, Capricorns, so hear this, please. Our biggest folly, our biggest restriction is our own mind and our own insistence on going with what we think we know. And it tends to be a very blinkered, narrow scope and view. And it's not accurate. We only see what we know, and we don't know everything. And that's the important thing. That's what Spirit's kind of urging us to turn around. So just to recap, so it's succinct. We're staying up at night, and we know we are, worrying about something. And it's because we're dwelling on some loss, perceived or actual, to the detriment of moving on to better waters, to find the bridge, to move over to the new house over there, the nice cups that are back there waiting, the opportunities that we're missing. And when we're this way, when we're doing this, we're not taking full advantage of the next steps, the beginning of the next steps. We're doing it full-heartedly. It's important that we stop this tendency here. I know it's hard to do this, but stop the tendency to focus on what we perceive and know to be fact. Loss, loss, loss. Life is pain, love is pain. I'm only focusing on that. It's not all pain, and it's not all bad. And once we get our head around that fact, we'll be able to move on joyfully. Keep an open mind, as if you're doing this for the first time. As if this never happened. Pretend, just, bear with me a second. Pretend that this didn't happen. Pretend that you have no proof that in your past you have felt hurt or lost by something. And then you fake it till you make it. So you can get out of this and you can move on to your next stage of life. Okay? So stop focusing here. Stop staying up at night worrying and start to act like you're brand new. Like you've never experienced loss before. Open. I know it's a big step. It's like how do I even begin to do that? Give it some thought. I'm going to too, because it's relevant to me as well. And I think that's pretty clear, because until we do that, we'll be faltering in our steps moving forward, if we move forward at all. If we even allow ourselves out of this trap here, this oppressive trap here, if we let ourselves out of this and we start thinking brand new because we don't know it all, and act like the fool in the upright position, we will move on to our next chapter. Sorry, it's not kind of a negative one, but I think it's important that we do this, particularly with this energy, with this August eclipse energy, because intentions that we make right around the 21st of August, when this eclipse happens, are magnified. I used this analogy earlier. It's kind of like pouring lighter fluid on a fire. It's going to just amp it up. Everything's going to be amped up. And remember those unexpected changes. So you might be completely proved wrong immediately, and all this will have been for naught. Okay, so save yourself some wrinkles and some lack of sleep, and look at it like a baby, like a brand new baby, like nothing bad ever happened to you. We know those people that they're like, la-di-da-di-da, life is great. Well, pretend. Pretend and see what happens. Get out of your head. Have fun. Move your body. It makes a difference. Get out of your head and into your body. Move. Have fun. Dance. Go out with friends. Trust me. And make those intentions for what it is you want, what it is this is keeping you from, and what it is this is keeping you from, so that you can make that first step to the new endeavor and move on to your next step, to your next level. Because this is the rounding out of there's only one more card to go, which is the graduation here. And you're just about there. But this and this is holding you back from your next stage in life. And you're about to make a new big change, new movement forward. So allow it to happen. Give yourself a break. Okay, that's it. I won't keep going on. I hope this helps someone. I know it helped me, actually. Makes sense to me. Thoughts are very powerful, so use them wisely. If you have questions or comments, or if you like, this was shitty, fuck off, you can leave those comments below. If you would like a specific reading, a reading that's more tailored to you, feel free to email me at mimimemes@hotmail.com. That email can be found in the description box below. I will be doing updates for the lunations, and I think that's it. So in other words, I'll do a reading for the 7th and then one for the 21st. And I believe that is it. So I hope this finds everybody well. You take good care of yourself, Cappy. I'll be taking my own advice here and thinking like an airhead. La, la, la. It's all good. All right, take care, Cappies. Much love.